Hello. Welcome to Reality Stories, where stories do come alive. Please subscribe and share with friends. Now relax and enjoy the story. The hospital corridor was quiet, too quiet. The hum of the fluorescent lights above seemed louder than usual. Nurses walked past in slow motion, whispering in corners, their eyes darting toward room 206. Jason sat outside that room, his eyes red, fingers trembling. His white shirt was stained with dry blood, Isabel's blood. A doctor stepped out. "Are you her brother?" he asked gently. Jason stood up. "Yes, Jason. Jason Daniels." The doctor sighed. "She's asking for you. You should come now." Jason didn't wait for more. He pushed through the door. There she was, Isabel, his only sister, the one who raised him after their mother left. Her once bright, warm face was now pale. Her lips cracked. Machines beeped softly beside her, each sound a reminder that time was running out. He walked over slowly. "Izzy," he whispered. Her eyes opened just a little. They were glassy, as if she was looking at him from somewhere far away. "I'm here. It's me, Jason." A tear slipped down her cheek. Jason took her hand. Cold, frail. "You're gonna be okay. Just rest. Don't talk. Just rest." But Isabel gently squeezed his hand. "No, time," she whispered. "Listen." Jason leaned closer, pressing his forehead to her fingers. "You don't have to say anything. I'll stay right here. Just keep your eyes open, please." She coughed weakly, and blood stained the edge of her lips. Her voice came out cracked, broken, like a dry leaf in the wind. "Jason, I'm here. Promise me. Anything, Izzy." She took one shallow breath. Then another, and then her lips moved. It was her. Jason froze. "What?" he said, pulling back slightly. "Izzy who? Who was it? What are you talking about?" But her eyes closed. Her hand went limp. "No, no, no, Izzy," he shouted, shaking her gently. "No, you have to tell me. Who is her?" The machines began to scream. Nurses rushed in. Jason was pulled away. But it was too late. Isabel was gone. Jason stood outside her room, shaking, the words echoing in his mind like thunder. It was her. The funeral came quickly. Small, quiet, only a few friends. Her best friend Mirabelle stood in black, weeping heavily. Derek, her ex-fiancé, didn't even show up. Jason stood by the grave, clenching his jaw. Who was her? What secret died with Isabel? He looked up at the gray sky and whispered, "I'll find out, Izzy. I swear to you, I'll find out what you meant." Back at Isabel's small apartment, Jason sat on her bed. The room was untouched since she was rushed to the hospital. Her books still lined the shelf, her slippers by the bed. Everything felt like her, warm, tidy, calm. Except now it was silent. He opened her phone, trying the passcode. "Same old birthday," he muttered, typing 0512. It opened. Photos, messages, voice notes. He opened her voice recordings. One file was dated the day before her death. It hadn't been sent. Jason pressed play. Isabel's voice came through, shaky, scared. "Hey, I don't know if you'll ever hear this. Maybe I'm just paranoid, but I feel like I'm being watched. Someone was in my apartment. I know it. I can't trust anyone right now, not even her. If anything happens to me, please know I didn't fall. I didn't jump. I didn't hurt myself. It wasn't an accident." Jason paused the recording. His hands were sweating. He played it again. Not even her. That phrase again. Her. He scrolled through her recent chats. One name kept popping up, Mirabelle. He didn't want to believe it. That evening, Jason invited Mirabelle over. She arrived in a black hoodie and jeans, her face swollen from crying. She rushed into his arms. "I still can't believe she's gone," she sobbed. Jason held her stiffly. "She was everything to me," Mirabelle said. "My sister, even if not by blood." Jason led her to the couch. "I found something," he said quietly. "A voice note." Mirabelle's face changed slightly. "A voice note?" she repeated. "Yes." She said someone broke into her place. That she was scared of someone. She said, "I can't trust even her." Mirabelle's smile faded completely. That's disturbing, she said slowly. Did she say who? Jason stared at her. She said something else before she died. 3 words. It was her. Mirabelle swallowed hard. I don't know what that means, she said, looking away. But she'd been through a lot lately. Jason nodded. Yeah, with Derek, right? Mirabelle nodded quickly. That man is toxic. He broke her. Jason pressed. Did she ever mention someone threatening her? Or following her? Mirabelle shook her head. No, but Isabel was always private. Maybe she didn't want to worry us. Jason narrowed his eyes. I'm going to the police tomorrow. Mirabelle flinched. Do you think someone killed her? Jason said nothing. Just looked at her. She got up quickly. I should go. This is all too much. He didn't stop her. As she left, he noticed something. Her wristwatch. The same one Isabel was wearing in a picture the day she died. Later that night, Jason sat with a box of Isabel's things. He found her journal. The last few pages were filled with frantic handwriting. Why is she acting like this? She says she loves me, but looks at me with hate in her eyes. I trusted her. I told her everything. Now I think I've made a mistake. She knows. She knows I found out. If I disappear, it wasn't my fault. Jason's hands shook. She knows I found out. Found out what? The next morning, he stood at Isabel's grave again. I know you were trying to warn me, he whispered. And I swear, I won't stop. Not until I find out who she is. The wind whispered through the trees like a quiet voice from the past. Jason looked up, jaw clenched. A storm was coming, and he was ready for it. Jason sat by the window of Isabel's apartment, watching the rain fall steadily outside. His thoughts were loud, full of questions he didn't have answers to. He couldn't get Mirabelle's reaction out of his head. When he mentioned Isabel's voice note, her face changed. Subtle but real. Something wasn't right. He picked up his phone and dialed her number. Hello. Mirabelle answered, her voice soft. Hey, Jason said. Can we meet? There are some things I want to talk about. There was a pause. Of course. Your place. No, he said quickly. There's this small cafe near Unity Street. Quieter. All right. See you there in 30. At the cafe, Mirabelle arrived in a black dress, umbrella dripping with rainwater. Jason had already ordered her favorite, lemon tea. You remembered, she said with a small smile, taking a seat. Yeah. You always drank that after Isabel's lectures. They both grew quiet at the mention of her name. I miss her, Mirabelle said softly. Jason watched her closely. You two were really close. She trusted you. Mirabelle nodded, but looked down at her cup. Jason leaned in. Then why do I feel like you're hiding something? She looked up quickly, startled. What? You acted strange the last time we spoke. And you're wearing her watch. Mirabelle, the one she wore the day she died. Mirabelle blinked. What? Oh, that. She gave it to me 2 days before the accident. She never told me that, Jason said flatly. You think I stole it? She asked, her voice rising. Jason leaned back. I'm saying something is off. You said Derek was toxic, but I saw a picture on Isabel's phone. He came to your birthday party last month. You smiled with him. Mirabelle's expression cracked. That was before things changed. Jason pulled out his phone and showed her a screenshot. It was a grainy shot. Mirabelle standing across the road, talking to Derek in front of a car. Their heads were close together. Derek was holding her wrist. I saw this yesterday, Jason said quietly. You lied, Mirabelle. You're still talking to him. Mirabelle froze. Are you working with him? No, she snapped, standing up. You don't understand. This is what it looks like. Jason stood too. Then explain it. I can't. Why not? She looked away, her lips trembling. Because it's bigger than you think. What does that mean? But Mirabelle didn't answer. She grabbed her bag and ran out into the rain, tears on her cheeks. Jason stood there, his heart thudding hard. She was lying about something important, and he was going to find out what it was. That evening, Jason couldn't sleep. He drove to Derek's neighborhood and parked his car across the street from a lounge where Derek was rumored to hang out. It was nearly midnight when he saw them. Mirabelle and Derek, laughing. He took a photo quickly. Then something odd happened. They stopped laughing. Derek grabbed Mirabelle's hand and pulled her close. She looked scared. Jason zoomed in. Was she acting, or was she really in trouble? He stayed hidden. But now, the doubt grew louder. Were they lovers? Enemies? Accomplices? Or was she just afraid of him like Isabel had been? Jason started the car and drove off into the night. 2 days passed. Jason couldn't shake the image of Mirabelle and Derek together. He needed answers. Real ones. He went back to Isabel's apartment, determined to search every corner. The room smelled like her. Lavender. Calm. He opened her drawers. Rummaged through old books, letters, files. Nothing. He looked under the bed and noticed something taped to the wooden frame. It was a flat, faded journal. The leather cover was cracked. Inside the first page was a single black rose, dried, fragile, pressed between the sheets. Jason stared at it. He remembered Isabel once said, "A black rose isn't just rare. For me, it means betrayal. Beautiful from afar, deadly when close." His chest tightened. He carefully turned the pages. Her handwriting was rushed, messy, full of fear. "I know now. I know what she did. I thought I was being dramatic. I thought maybe I was imagining things. But the texts I saw, the photos, I was right. She lied to me, and he's still in her life. How could she, after what he did to me?" Jason paused. Who was she? Mirabelle? "If I disappear, please, let this be found. Let it be known that I didn't slip. I didn't fall. It was her, and him, but mostly her, because I trusted her." Jason felt sick. He turned another page and saw a printed photo. Torn. It showed Mirabelle and Derek, arms around each other, drinking wine in a hotel room, dated just 1 week before Isabel's death. Jason's hands trembled. She knew. She knew they were seeing each other again. Behind her back. She wrote more. She said it was just dinner, that he came to apologize. But I saw the messages. They laughed about me, called me weak, naive. She swore she'd never betray me. But blood doesn't lie. She's not who I thought she was. Jason dropped the journal and stepped back. Blood doesn't lie? What did that mean? Was she referring to a secret bond between them? He picked up the journal again. The last page was written with smeared ink, like it was written in tears. I wanted to forgive her. I really did. But the way she looked at me last night, like I was a problem, made me scared. I won't sleep tonight. I feel like something bad is coming. If this is the last thing I write, please, tell Jason. Tell him I never lied. Tell him to find the truth. Jason collapsed onto the bed, tears in his eyes. Isabel had written her pain, her fear, and her truth. She knew someone wanted her gone. She begged to be heard. And now, Jason had the truth. But would anyone believe it? Would Mirabelle confess? Would Derek run? Jason held the black rose in his hand, gripping it tightly. "No more silence," he whispered. "You died afraid, Izzy, but I'll make sure they fear the truth." The rose crumbled in his hand, just like the trust Isabel once had. It was a quiet Tuesday afternoon when Jason received a message. "Jason Daniels? I'm Zane. I used to interview your sister, Isabel. I need to see you. It's about her death and something she was working on. It's bigger than you think. Please call me." Jason stared at the screen, unsure. He had heard the name before. Zane Madhu, a young investigative journalist. Isabel once mentioned him in passing. Said he was a little too curious. Jason dialed the number. "Hello, Zane," Jason said. "This is Isabel's brother." "Oh, thank God," Zane replied. "Can we meet? Please. I've been digging into something, and your sister was in deep. I think it cost her everything." Jason felt his heartbeat quicken. "Where?" They met at a quiet rooftop bar in Acadia. Zane was in his late 20s, dressed in a rumpled jacket with a backpack at his feet, and tired eyes like someone who hadn't slept in days. I'm sorry about Isabel, Zane began. I liked her. She was smart, brave, but she didn't know how much danger she was in. Jason folded his arms. What are you talking about? Zane pulled out a manila folder. Your sister was helping me with a story, he explained. A story about a group of men, politicians, businessmen, even a bishop. They were exploiting young girls, covering it up with money, threats, even fake charity projects. Jason's eyes widened. She never told me that. She couldn't, Zane said. She was scared, but she believed in the truth. She got close to someone in the group, a girl who survived. Who? Zane opened the folder and pulled out a photo. A teenage girl, bruised, thin, with terrified eyes. Her name was Sarah. She escaped a compound in Enugu, told Isabel everything. Names, dates, places. Isabel was documenting it all. Jason leaned forward. You're saying Isabel was killed because of this? I'm not sure, Zane said honestly. But 3 weeks ago, she sent me this. He slid a flash drive across the table. Jason plugged it into his laptop and clicked the only file. A video of Isabel appeared. Zane, if you're seeing this, it means something went wrong. They know about me. They know I spoke to Sarah. Please protect her. Protect the story. And tell Jason I love him. Jason froze. Tears threatened his eyes, but he blinked them back. What happened to the girl? He asked. She disappeared a week ago, Zane said grimly, right after Isabel's accident. Jason stood up, furious. This wasn't just about Derek or Mirabelle. This is deeper. Zane nodded. Much deeper. I think your sister uncovered something she wasn't supposed to. Jason looked out over the city lights, heart pounding. They tried to silence her, he whispered, but now they have to deal with me. Later that evening, Jason returned to Isabel's apartment, emotionally exhausted. As he unlocked the door, his phone vibrated. A number he didn't recognize. He answered. Hello, Jason? The voice was soft, familiar but distant. Yes. Who's this? It's Deborah, your mother. Jason froze. Silence. Please, Jason, don't hang up. I just need 10 minutes of your time. I heard about Isabel. I need to see you. I need to tell you something I should have told you a long time ago. He didn't know what to say. His heart was screaming. This woman had walked out of their lives when they needed her most. She was dead to them. But something made him say, where? They met at a small motel in Ajij. Jason entered the room stiffly. Deborah sat on the edge of the bed, wearing a faded wrapper and holding her purse like it was a shield. She looked older than he remembered. Weary, hollow. You look like your father, she said with a broken smile. Jason didn't return the smile. I didn't come here for compliments. Why now? Deborah looked down. I heard about Isabel. I broke down. I knew it was time. Jason's voice turned hard. Where were you when we needed you? When she was raising me alone? When we had no food? I know, Deborah said, voice shaking. I know, and I have no excuse. I was selfish. I ran. I thought I was saving myself. But I lost everything. Jason crossed his arms. What do you want now? I came to tell you the truth. About Isabel. About who she really was. Jason frowned. What do you mean? Deborah's eyes filled with tears. She wasn't just my daughter. She was my greatest shame. Jason felt the floor shift beneath him. Explain. Deborah stood slowly and walked to a window. I was only 17 when I got pregnant. The man was married. He was rich, respected. His wife couldn't have children, and his family was powerful. They didn't want any scandal. So when I got pregnant, they gave me two choices. Disappear or get rid of the baby. She paused. I ran. Jason sat down, stunned. I moved to a small village. I gave birth to Isabel alone. But I had nothing. No family. No money. When I met your father, I lied. I told him Isabel was my late cousin's child. He believed me. We raised her together until he found out the truth. Jason whispered. Isabel never knew? She found out 2 months ago. Deborah said, "She came looking for me. She said she had questions. Said she found something, documents. I think she was angry, confused." Jason's voice cracked. "And you let her die angry?" "I beg her forgive me," Deborah said, sobbing now. "She said she couldn't. Not yet, but that she loved me." Jason sat silently, head spinning. "So Isabel died, carrying your secret." Deborah nodded slowly. "Yes, and I hate myself for it." Jason stood to leave. "You should." "But Jason," she said quickly, "there's one more thing. The man, the one who fathered Isabel, his name is known. He's one of the men Zane is investigating." Jason turned sharply. "What?" Deborah nodded. "That's why I'm telling you now. He's dangerous. If Isabel found out he was her father, and also part of that abuse, she may have been trying to expose him." Jason's breath caught in his throat. She died trying to expose her own father. Deborah cried harder, covering her mouth. Jason walked toward the door. His voice was cold. "You should have protected her. You owed her that." "I know," she whispered. He opened the door. "I don't know if I'll ever forgive you," he said, "but thanks for finally telling the truth." He walked out into the night, broken but burning with purpose. If Isabel died chasing justice, he would make sure her truth didn't die with her. Jason sat in the dusty office of Pastor Elijah, Isabel's former spiritual mentor. The old man had served their family church for over 30 years and had known Isabel since childhood. His walls were covered with certificates, old sermon posters, and faded photographs. But his eyes were sharp, watchful. Jason placed Isabel's journal on the table. "I need help understanding these last pages," he said. Pastor Elijah adjusted his glasses and opened the journal carefully. He flipped through until he reached the final entries, written in shaky handwriting, almost like Isabel had been rushing. "I know now. I can feel it. She's close, closer than I thought. The way she watches me, the way she defends Derek. She's hiding something. But it's not just a betrayal. It's something deeper, something blood." The pastor's eyes narrowed. "This sounds like fear, but also discovery." Jason nodded. "She was talking about Mirabelle, her best friend. She kept saying she was too close." They turned the page. I looked into Deborah's past. There was another child, one she never mentioned. The dates don't lie. The woman who adopted her died years ago. That girl grew up alone. But somehow she found me. My own blood. My own sister. Jason sat back, stunned. "Wait, Mirabelle was Isabel's sister?" Pastor Elijah looked at him. "Yes, that's what it says here." Jason shook his head in disbelief. "All this time and she never knew?" "Deborah hid it," the pastor replied gently. "She abandoned 2 daughters, one to raise, one forget. But it seems fate brought them back together." Jason stood and paced. "So Mirabelle knew that Isabel was her sister?" "Possibly," Pastor Elijah said. "But if she didn't at first, she surely found out when Isabel did." Jason's chest tightened. "Then that's why she turned cold. Distant. That's why she met Derek in secret. Isabel must have confronted her, and it got ugly." Pastor Elijah nodded slowly. "Jason, this is not just about betrayal. This is about identity. About rejection. Isabel finding out she had a sister who never told her. It must have shattered her." Jason's voice cracked. "She died thinking her own sister betrayed her." They both fell silent. Then Pastor Elijah added softly, "Blood doesn't always mean loyalty, Jason. Sometimes it means war." Jason clenched his fists. "I have to confront her." Jason arrived at Mirabelle's apartment unannounced. She opened the door in a silk robe, her hair in a messy bun. Her eyes widened when she saw him. "Jason," she asked nervously, "what are you doing here? We need to talk. Now." Mirabelle stepped back. "Come in." Jason walked in, eyes scanning the room. Everything looked perfect, yet something felt fake, like she was trying too hard to keep up appearances. He turned sharply. "Were you ever going to tell me that you were Isabel's sister?" Mirabelle froze. "What are you talking about?" she whispered. "I read Isabel's journal." Jason said. "The truth is there. You're Deborah's second daughter, the one she gave away." Mirabelle's knees buckled. She sank into the chair. "You found out," she said, tears already rising. Jason stood still. "So it's true?" Mirabelle nodded slowly, painfully. "I didn't know at first," she whispered. "I swear, I was adopted. My foster parents never told me the full story. All I knew was that I was abandoned as a baby. I hated my mother for it, until I met Isabel." Jason's voice softened slightly. "You didn't know she was your sister?" "Not until last year," Mirabelle said. "I found an old letter in my foster mother's box. It had Deborah's name. I traced it. Then I met Isabel, and when I realized who she was, I panicked." "Why didn't you tell her?" Jason asked, his voice rising. "She had a right to know." "I was afraid." Mirabelle shouted, standing now. "I didn't know how she would take it. I thought, maybe I could just stay close to her, as a friend. Maybe that would be enough." "But she found out," Jason said. "She confronted you, didn't she?" Mirabelle nodded slowly. "She screamed at me. She was heartbroken. Said I lied. Said I took her love and turned it into a lie." Jason's voice cracked. "Did you kill her, Mirabelle?" Mirabelle's eyes widened in shock. "What? No, never. I would never hurt her." Jason stepped forward, angry. "Then who did? Because after you argued, she died." Mirabelle began to sob, shaking. "It was Derek," she said in a choked voice. "He overheard us fighting that day. Isabel threatened to expose me, and him. She said she was going to pastor Elijah, to Zane, to the press." Jason stared at her. Why would Derek care? Mirabelle sniffed. Because he was part of that secret Isabel was investigating. She found out he worked as a recruiter years ago, bringing girls to parties. Girls like Sarah. He thought she loved him. When she found out the truth, she cut him off. And when she confronted me, Derek thought she would bring us both down. Jason's heart pounded. "So, Derek killed her?" Mirabelle nodded. "I think so. He came to me the night Isabel died. He was shaking. Said something went wrong. Said Isabel hit her head and stopped moving. I begged him to tell the truth, but he threatened me." Jason gritted his teeth. "And you kept quiet." "I was scared." Mirabelle cried. "He said he had videos. Said if I talked, he'd destroy everything." Jason's voice was cold now. "So you let my sister take the fall. You let us bury her without justice." Mirabelle fell to her knees. "I'm sorry, Jason. I'm so sorry. I never meant for any of this to happen." Jason stood still, staring at the woman who had once called herself Isabel's best friend, now revealed as her sister, her betrayer, her silence. "I'm going to police," he said. "And you're coming with me." Mirabelle looked up, trembling. "Will you ever forgive me?" Jason's voice was low and tired. "I don't know, but I'm not letting Isabel's story end with a lie." Location: Zane's makeshift newsroom, a cluttered apartment filled with paper files, USB drives, and cameras. Jason sat on the couch, eyes red from sleepless nights. Zane stood by the laptop, adjusting the volume. "I think I got something," Zane said. "One of my sources pulled security footage from the building next to where Isabel was found. It's not clear at first, but look closely." He hit the space bar. The grainy black and white video began to play. Jason leaned forward. In the frame, Isabel was seen walking quickly down a stairwell. Her hair was tied up, and she was holding her phone. The timestamp read, 11:48 p.m. She paused on a landing, turned as if someone called her name, then a shadow moved fast. "Derek." He grabbed her wrist. She pulled back, shouted something. They struggled. Then suddenly, she slipped. Her body hit the stairs with a sickening thud. Jason's hands flew to his mouth. Zane paused the video. "Wait," he whispered. "There's more." He hit play again. The camera angle switched. Derek was seen dragging Isabel's limp body down the corridor. He looked around nervously, then disappeared from the frame. Jason's voice trembled. He didn't call for help. "No," Zane said quietly. He tried to cover it up. He made it look like an accident. Jason stared blankly. That night, he lied to all of us. He told me he left early. Said Isabel was fine. Zane nodded. This is the proof. And the timestamp matches the time the neighbors said they heard a loud noise. Jason stood up. His hands shook. We have to take this to the police. Now. Zane hesitated. Jason, Derek's already gone. I tried calling his number. It's disconnected. His apartment is empty. No one's seen him in 2 days. Jason's voice was filled with rage. He knew it was only a matter of time. Zane leaned in. But we have the footage. And your story. We can expose this. All of it. Let the world see who Isabel really was. And what she died for. Jason clenched his jaw. Then let's do it. Let's tell her story the way she wanted. 1 month later, YouTube premiere. Her name was Isabel. A documentary by Jason Cole. The screen opened with slow, soft piano music. A faded photo of Isabel filled the screen, smiling, full of life. Jason's voice spoke calmly. My name is Jason Cole, and this is the story of the woman I loved. A woman silenced by secrets. This is her truth. Clips of Isabel's journal pages filled the screen, then videos of her smiling with Mirabelle, happy childhood pictures. Voice notes, carefully preserved. Zane's voice came in next. Isabel reached out to me once about a story involving high-ranking men and abuse scandals. She was brave, too brave, and it cost her everything. The documentary showed the security footage, the moment Derek pulled her down, her limp body, the timestamp, the evidence. Jason's narration continued. She trusted people who used her. But even in the dark, she kept records. She kept notes. She knew the truth would matter, even if she didn't live to tell it. Then came a clip from Pastor Elijah, sitting in his office. Isabel came to me a week before she died. She said, Pastor, I think the people I trust most might be hiding the biggest secret of all. I didn't know what she meant then. Now I do. Next was Mirabelle's confession, recorded during the police interview. Her face was pale, broken. I didn't kill her, but I lied. I kept secrets. And for that, I have to live with the guilt. A news anchor's voice came next. Breaking news. Mirabelle Jones, once known as the best friend of late activist Isabel Cole, has been formally charged with conspiracy and obstruction of justice. Meanwhile, the primary suspect, Derek Anderson, remains at large. A warrant has been issued for his arrest. Clips of public protests followed. Placards read, Justice for Isabel. No more silence. Protect women, punish predators. Then the screen faded to black. A soft static broke the silence. And then Isabel's voice played. Her final voice note. If I die, just know I was never afraid of death. I was afraid the truth would die with me. I've seen too much. I've trusted too fast. But I believe in light. I believe that somewhere, someone will find this and tell my story. Jason sat in his editing booth, watching the final cut play for the 100th time. Tears rolled down his cheeks. The video ended with a single line across the screen. She did not die in vain. Final scene, the aftermath. The documentary went viral within 48 hours. Millions watched. Hashtag Justice for Isabel trended worldwide. Anonymous tipsters began to share new names. Mirabelle was denied bail. Derek's face appeared on every screen in Nigeria and beyond. The manhunt intensified. But in the quiet corners of Jason's heart, none of that brought peace. He stood at Isabel's grave days later, holding a black rose, the same kind she had once pressed into her journal. I kept my promise, he whispered. Your truth didn't die. The wind carried his words into the silence. And for the first time in months, Jason smiled. Not because he had won, but because she had been heard.